This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of this podcast. It's called Under the Habit. I'm Callum Tofts, joined by our lovely guest tonight, Scott McGeorge. Scott, thanks for joining me tonight, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Callum. Appreciate it, mate.
No worries at all. So, firstly, I want to get your first initial reaction of the draw for obviously first game tomorrow or Saturday. We'll go out tomorrow, but the game against Newcastle United in the FA Cup third round. What's your opinion on that, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, as it gets closer, gets more exciting. Obviously, with the uncertainty of restrictions, we all thought that were probably going to be imposed on us after Christmas. Didn't happen. About the only good thing Boris has done for us so far. So potentially, we thought it could be behind closed doors, which would have been gut-wrenching to have the opportunity to play at St James's Park against Newcastle United, the multi-billionaires that they are now, and not be there would have just been horrible. So it's happening now. We're close. We can almost touch it. God willing, there's no COVID cases, but I think they've got to play come what may now. So yeah, as long as our coaches all get up there and the 5,000 United fans will be ready. Sounds like Newcastle are going to welcome us. It's a great city. I've been up there many times during my horse racing days, and they are really good people. So we're welcome everywhere. And in true traditional Cambridge United style, we'll come in numbers, in colours, and in voice. So yeah, really looking forward to Saturday now.
Yeah, it's only a few days to go now. What's your opinion on Mark Bonner and what's he done with the club, and really kind of looking at it from was before lockdown in a way to how it is now? The difference to me in the club's massive, and really just get your opinion on how good of a job Bonner and the staff's done.
Incredible job. No other word. He's proved me wrong. I'll hold my hands up there. We've had the name. I mean, Calderwood's played at a high level. You could have got a Holloway in, but he's just eclipsed what any of them have done and could have done in the circumstances. He's had it tough, obviously playing in an eerie, empty stadium and getting us promoted. He's refreshing. He talks well. You sort of hang on to every word, when he's being interviewed. It's not often you could disagree with what he says. He's passionate. He's level-headed. He's just exceeded all expectation. And for me, with Bonds, it means something that we've got someone standing on the line there, turning a team out, and he cares about the club. He's got Cambridge United running through his veins. So I think as a supporter of a smaller club in the Football League, should we say, but we make up for that in character, and I think that shines through in the team, as you can see with the performances. We shouldn't really probably be competing with the likes of Portsmouth, Sunderland, Sheffield Wednesday, Wigan, but we're matching these teams because yes, we haven't got the spend and the fancy names, but what we have got is a manager that's recruited well and just gets the best out of what he has at his disposal. So I wouldn't be surprised if we went there Saturday and made it hard for Newcastle, and you never know. But Bonds has done an absolutely amazing job. He must sit down when he puts his slippers on and sits there at home, and he must think to himself, I haven't done too badly here.
I think he would be. I mean, kind of look back on some of the games we've had so far, and it's weird to think Cambridge were almost relegated 3 years ago from League Two. Now we're playing against drawing Ipswich at home. We gave Wigan a good game, and so did Sunderland as well. And you kind of look back, you look back on games we've had, and is there any kind of favourite game this season so far? For me, it's the Ipswich one at home. I think, a sold-out Abbey and drawing last minute to Ipswich, and it was such a brilliant feeling to kind of see where we've come to where we are now. What about you? What's your favourite game, if you have one, this season so far?
There's one that jumps out at me straight away. There's been some special games. Oxford at home, the first game back was special and a real occasion. Bolton win at home was very satisfying. Another big crowd, pitch is in good condition, nice day. But the one that stands out is Portsmouth away. It was incredible setting, lovely stadium. The sun was shining, warm day. had a nice drive down, went down the front of the coast, and then made our way to the sort of old nostalgic stadium of Fratton Park, and the atmosphere was quality, good side, high expectation from the Pompey fans, and scored two terrific goals, two of my favourite goals this season, with the Ironside looping header. We were behind the goal there and just watching it drop in under Bazzuno's bar, and then the Liam O'Neill strike, and the heroic defending as Portsmouth threw what seemed like about 18 men forward in the last 15 minutes. That's my favourite game so far this season. But yeah, collectively, it's been a good first half of the season. I think probably could have had a few more points. You all say, well, it's fair where you are, roughly about halfway, but I think maybe could be 5 or 6 points at least a bit better off. But I think people have seen the performances, and we're looking to hopefully kick on second half of the season then.
Yeah, I fully agree. Kind of, you look at games where we could have won, could have got points from, and it's certainly something we could have got a lot more. We've had good results. You look back at the Rotherham game, 1-0 loss at home. Even the away leg, we could have easily got some points taken out of there as well. And the Doncaster away kind of rings bells for me. We should have won that, but we've got points on the board. I think a lot of teams are surprised by us, and I think it's really shown the character of Bonner and the whole team really. Kind of going into more signings now, what's for you been the key signing from this year? Would you say? For me, it's, you look at losing Colnell at right back last year at the end of the season, replaced him by George Williams, who I think's done a brilliant job at right back and really cemented the fullback position. We don't really like, we're losing much with Colnell out. So what's been your signing of the season, or the kind of player that surprised you the most really?
Probably the player that you've mentioned, George Williams. Speaking about him to my brother, just on our chat, two brothers, we've always followed Cambridge United, and he's just, the fans have really warmed to him. Very consistent, good going forwards, defends well, gets his body in the way. You'll see him tangle with a forward quite often because they just end up getting frustrated with him. Struggle to get by him, say, gallops down that right. He can pop up with a goal, as we've seen, good with his head, and really plays with 10% commitment every single match. He's been a great find. I think Robbie Simpson, a forward that played at United a few years back, had 2 spells at Cambridge United. I think George Williams actually came with a high recommendation from Simo. So I think Simo sort of probably deserves a pat on the back, helping his old club out there. George Williams has been brilliant. I know Jack Iredale was signed last season, but he's really stepped up to the plate. And like I say, I know he's been with us a little while, but them two have probably been standout. Just notable mention, I like Jensen Weir a lot, young player. Really good flashes and signs from him that he could potentially be a really good footballer. Going forward, he's only a young player, but I like Jensen Weir a lot also.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I also mentioned, I know Jones is injured at the moment and he's going to be out till February, it seems, but I think he stepped up to the role really well, especially with Greg Taylor getting injured so early in the season. He kind of stepped up as the main centre-back and really kind of showed he's something. I think going forward, looking to the future, he could be our next main centre-back when Greg eventually retires and kind of goes forward. But go back to the Newcastle game on Saturday, I think it's 51,000 expected to be there overall, about 5,000 Cambridge fans. And I think you look back on the last big game, which is Man United away, arguably the 7,000 Cambridge fans up there. And what would you say is the difference this time from going into the Man United game last time? Okay, it was a replay, but what would you say, if we improved, or would you say we're kind of still not looking favourites into the game? What would you kind of say is the big difference from them?
It's a good question. There were similarities between the two teams. Obviously, that team had done really well under Richard Money, just got promoted out of what was the conference in 2014. There was a very tight bunch and a good togetherness. And I think we were still riding that crest of a wave after gaining promotion at Wembley in May 2014. As I say, as I alluded to before with Bonds' team, there is a tight knit togetherness. You can see they're all, if there's a little bit of a skirmish, all the players dive in. They're all together. So I think, yeah, there is similarities. Obviously, you've got different profiles of players. But yeah, it's a good question. That obviously we go into it with underdogs, but look what we did with that tag and label. You know, who'd have thought players like Falcao, Januzaj, Carrick, you know, the list goes on. And we very nearly caused an upset, and just it was a step too far at Old Trafford. But by no means did we disgrace ourselves when we went up there for the replay. So if we can stay in the game on Saturday, keep it tight, starting games, if going to be a little bit picky, we could have done a little bit better this season. Probably conceded too many early goals, but I think, you know, there's no pressure on us. It's a free hit, if you like. It's a fan's day out, but at the same time, I'm sure every United fan doesn't want to get walloped. So I think, yeah, just it's taking the game in stages every 10, 15 minutes, just keeping it tight and giving Newcastle something to think about. We are missing. It would have been a shame to have Sam Smith, obviously suspended, Sheila Tracy. You know, he could frighten teams at his pace. So I'm slightly disappointed players like that aren't going to be available. But it's an opportunity for the likes of Jack Lancaster, maybe one or two others to showcase their talent on what you said is a massive occasion. I can't believe it's a sellout, to be quite honest. And yeah, I wish it was tomorrow. I'll meet you.
Yeah, I need 40 hours to go and less than that now, but kind of still saying on the Newcastle kind of track. But what would you say is like our key player? Like, you know, we've got Wes Hoolahan, we've got Joe Ironside. Who would you kind of single out as you would miss in that team if they weren't playing Saturday? So, for example, like I mentioned, Joe Ironside or Wes Hoolahan not playing, who would you single out as someone you would miss in that team?
I'd say probably Big Joe, because he occupies defenders. Again, he's another one that's probably exceeded expectation. I questioned whether he'd be able to probably step up to League One level. Had a good season up there with Mullen getting the headlines most weekends last week. But yeah, Joe has really proved himself to be a top draw striker. He's very effective. Great, honest lad up there, chips in with his fair share of goals, lays many on. So you would always want to go to battle with Joe. And then Jack Iredale, to be honest, because he's Mr. Reliability, Mr. Versatile. He's good in the air. He's quick. He's got a great left foot. And as I say, because he can fill so many gaps and holes, I think he's massive to us at the moment, Iredale.
Yeah, he's more of a versatile player than we expect, especially when he wasn't really favourite when he first came in as kind of Harrison Dunk over Jack Iredale for a while, and was for the majority of last season. And then this season he's just kind of excelled, and kind of thinking, well, where's that come from? And I kind of think, like you mentioned with Joe Ironside, he got a lot he didn't get much praise last year because of Mullen got all the headlines, and it really was. I've used this reference a few times. The Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan. It was all about Mullen last year, and Ironside didn't get a look in. And for me, it's a real shame because he does such more of the hard graft than you expect. And with VAR expect on Saturday as well, it's going to be interesting to see any more fouls given than it is in League One at the moment. But I'm kind of more leaning away to Newcastle, looking at Cambridge's recent performances. How would you suggest going into the second half of the season where we can go from here? Because we've started a really good League One campaign, in my opinion, but how do we keep progressing and make sure we don't stay near their dreaded full relegation spots?
Yeah, I just think just continue much of what we've been doing. As I said earlier, not chasing games as much as what we've done in the first half of the season. We've been behind probably a bit too much, certainly for my liking, and probably Bonds as well would vouch for that. Just adding another face or two. I think there's work being done in the background just to freshen it up. every team has injuries. That's part and parcel of a season, and that's just going to happen. It's human body, it's football sport. We have missed key men, as I said, Shilal Tracy. He's he's had a good start to the season, but because he's so quick, because he's so sharp, he's kind of becoming a victim of his own success because he's just getting smashed. To be honest with you, as I say, I could see him flying at Newcastle with his pace, and he's a real problem for any defender. So it's just getting them players back. I know Lloyd Jones has just got undergone surgery about a week ago, so we're probably not going to see him for a little while, unfortunately. So yeah, just trust Bonds to bring another face or two. I don't think it needs a facelift the team or the squad by any means, because you want to keep that group together. Got Liam O'Neill coming back. I think Lancaster, if he can stay fit, could play a role. I know Bond said he could potentially be like a new signing in itself. He's doing some good stuff on the training field, I believe. So yeah, just doing what we're doing, just tweaking one or two things. As I say, starting games better, and if we perform like we are, and just getting a little bit of rubber the green as well, things folding for us a little bit more. I mean, I think Monday was excellent against Portsmouth, a really good performance. Done incredible to come out of it with a point. Given the circumstances, it'd be nice to get a referee that perhaps went a little bit the other way, and aided us. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about him too much because I'm starting to, the blood pressure's going up. But yeah, exactly. But yeah, just a little bit of fortune. But I'm sure with a tiny bit of tweaking and a bit of improvement, starting games better, I'm sure the points will come. I spoke to lots of friends and fans, and we'll be fine. You'll be fine. But you want to get to that mark and that points total of around about 48, 50, and then we can relax. But yeah, no, looking forward to it. Some massive games second half of the season, and some more good trips for used fans to enjoy with Portman Road, Stadium of Light, and so on. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, kind of leaning away to Cambridge, we're going to focus more on the FA Cup. And really, what would you say, if you've seen the fixtures, what would you say other standout fixtures are for the weekend? So you've got Swindon, Man City, sorry for me, for tomorrow night, it's a big one. But also you've got Leicester, Watford, Premier League fixture, and also Chelsea, Chesterfield, which is a big game as well. What to you makes an FA Cup tie so special? Because we're kind of experiencing on Saturday the magic of the FA Cup and having a big game. What else would you say do you enjoy about the FA Cup more than any competition?
I still love the FA Cup. I like teams. I love watching round one. When at round one you go to a little ground. We saw it before, Sudbury, Colchester, them sort of games. Or one of the big hitters going to a small ground, anything like that. You see all the memories when it rolls on either ITV or Match of the Day. The memories gone past. I think if we're being honest, there's a little bit of the romance gone out of the FA Cup with teams not taking it as serious as what they did 15, 20, 25 years ago. Obviously no replays. That's obviously due to COVID, which is a shame. But yeah, I love watching them round one games, round two. Yeah, Swindon, Manchester City's a good game. Just great for them lower league clubs to get that exposure, and yeah, it's just when else are you going to see like a game like that? You can watch Leicester, Watford, or Liverpool, Chelsea with respect every season, but you're not going to get them unique games unless they're drawn out. And even watching the draw itself, I remember where I was when we drew Manchester United. I was in a hotel working away in Southampton, and my mate who was down the corridor could hear me scream, and it was Man United. So I think it's them kind of moments as well. Just the draw itself makes it a bit special. But yeah, I'm a traditionalist, and I still look forward to the FA Cup, and yeah, you'll see the traditional Cambridge United FA Cup welcome that the team gets out. I think it'd be pretty spectacular on Saturday with the sort of the famous yellow pages and ticker tape and balloons and stuff. Like that's what an FA Cup is about.
Yeah. I think that's what it needs to be as well. And it's kind of sad you see certain Premier League managers saying they should ditch the FA Cup or the League Cup. And it's, for me, it's such sad that they're willing to sacrifice that for lower league teams as seasonal profit. I mean, some teams are making loads of money off this FA Cup weekend. And you've got managers like Ralph Radnick from Man United saying to scrap the FA Cup or League Cup. And it's like, it's such a shame it's got to that point. It's all about money now for bigger teams, and it's not the passion and the desire of the FA Cup anymore, which I think is lost a little bit, like you mentioned. So it's just nice for fans to enjoy the weekends and enjoy the games going to big or small clubs, because even if you're going to a smaller club, I feel it's still a massively different experience, and it's just what makes the FA Cup what it is. Going back to Cambridge United now, what would you say has been your favourite moment as a Cambridge fan all these years?
Yeah, it's a great question. In recent years, again, going back to Wembley 2014, just long years. And it just felt like we were never going to get out of the conference with respect, playing teams like Tamworth, Altrincham. I went to Stafford Rangers twice in the season to watch Cambridge United in the league, with about 500 people there. So yeah, that was emotional, and it was tough watching the final few minutes as Miller had gone off. I think we were down to 10 men, and the clock, just 8 minutes just seemed like 25 minutes. So that was special when the referee put the whistle to his lips, and it took a while to sink in that we were back into the Football League. That was really a big moment. There's been too many to mention. I was a ball boy back in the day, in the John Beck era, and I was that was, I must say, that era was just a privilege to grow up in and be a part of. The likes of Dion Dublin, John Taylor. There's too many games to mention, but we were underdogs, and Cambridge went through the leagues and almost got into the Premier League, as it were, when it started from the old Division 1. We actually got beat by Leicester City in the playoffs. But there was some memorable games. Sheffield Wednesday, we knocked out the cup. Arsenal, Highbury, we were the best team in the country. We gave them a scare in the FA Cup, going down 2-1. That was a memorable game. 1990 in the playoffs, Dion Dublin header, 1-0 Chesterfield. There's just a few for you. So Cambridge United is just, as I say, since the age of eight, and I'm 41 now, has just been part of the process of my life, really. And it's given me many bad moments, but it's given me some tremendous ones also. And it gives us something, I think, even with lockdown. It proves when it's missing, it just leaves such a big hole. Going on a Saturday, getting out in the fresh air, letting some steam off, supporting your team, win, lose or draw. We wouldn't have it any other way. So, to be going Saturday, even more so, looking forward to it. What a club, what a journey.
Yeah, I think my first proper memory was the game against Torquay at Wembley when we lost. I think it was 2-0 we lost. First proper memory of being a Cambridge fan was about 8. I think I was about the same age as you. But when you first started supporting Cambridge, and the heartbreak of it, even at that age, it still hits you now, and then it still hits you now when we're losing 1-0 or lost 5-0 or whatever the case may be. It's just such a heartfelt thing, and it really is a family club in a such with Cambridge. You get the same people stand next to you or sit next to you every week, and it's just such a nice community. Everyone's friendly with each other, and I think that will really show on Saturday when we go up there that we're all going to be in it together and just enjoy the day. And it's really nice. Newcastle fans are going to let us, they're welcoming us to the city, which is lovely. And it's also touching. You don't normally get many clubs do that now. You kind of get fans who hate other fans and don't really want to mix with them. But it doesn't seem with Newcastle the way. And I'm kind of leading on to my next question. What do you make of that? What do you make of fans not liking fans, and fans allowing other fans into pubs and stuff? What kind of do you make of that whole situation as it stands?
Yeah, I think it's just areas. I think there's certain rivalries. There's some places you are a little bit more careful where you got your colours on. Don't think it's as bad this day and age as what it probably used to be, but I think it's more acceptable to go around in your colours. It always is really, but obviously there are some. You were to go to Millwall down in Bermondsey, maybe be a little bit careful. But yeah, I think Newcastle, yeah, it's just great. They're just lovely people up north. The Geordies, as I say, I've been horse racing up there and stopped overnight, and they're just really, really friendly people. I think it will just make for. I think I'm looking forward to it more in our fans because we've seen on Twitter and
Yeah.
social media, etc., that they said we're ready for you. Just go anywhere. You're welcome in any of the bars. So there'll be no animosity for sure. So I think that'll make for special. I think both they're obviously notorious and they're going to turn out in massive numbers. We're going to have a good following, and I think they're excited that we're bringing so many. And it's a new game, a new fixture for them. Um, just quickly, Danny Cowley touched on it the other day in his interview, and he said Cambridge is a tough place to come, and he said you can see why the crowd are getting behind them like they did the other day on Monday. The Newmarket Road end was sold out. There weren't too many areas where there was spaces, and it can be quite a hostile place to come and play when the crowd get behind the team. So I'd urge anyone, even that watching this when it goes out, just shows you just after Christmas, the circumstances with COVID, but we can still manage to take 5,000 to Newcastle. I know it's a glamorous game, but it'd be nice if some of them fans also keep following the team, because there's really something special going on. They're a great team that make you proud to go and watch at the moment. So, yeah, keep following them. I think it's Lincoln away the week after. That's not a bad away day. So yeah, just that they make me really proud to support them at the moment. There's been some lows, but at the moment, I've done an interview at the start of the season because I won a competition on the pitch, in the team photo, etc. And I did an interview and I just said it's going to be tough, but let's embrace it and enjoy the ride playing these big teams in League One. So yeah, I'm just enjoying this season. I'm enjoying watching this team.
It's nice to have success within. We've had a few, 5 or 6 years before last season, having really struggled, and we had a few good moments. We had some good players, and we've had some good results over the years, but we've also had some lows recently, and it's not been the best. But where do you see Cambridge in 5 years? Like, where would you say, if I don't be done this interview 5 years later, where would you say we are in 5 years?
Another exceptional question. Mystic Meg, are you around? Yeah, I
We'll put a
don't
tenner
know.
on this.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I love the level we're at the moment. We're little old Cambridge United, holds 8,500. As much as I love the Abbey, I think I'd love to stay there. Probably like to see us just upgrade a little bit if possible. Minimum be at the level we're at, I suppose. Just enjoying our football, maybe championship. Who knows? But steady. Maybe 5 years time is feasible. If you've got the right model on and off the pitch, there's no reason why you can't make progress and be successful. Keeping people like Bonner at the club on good contracts, keeping the right people behind the scenes. I just want to see our club progress, because I've seen it squander money, do the wrong things off the field, and that then in turn affects what happens on the grass as well. So yeah, just want to see the club run well. So maybe the Abbey snazzed and jazzed up a little bit, and that we're all still happy, healthy, going, and say at their standard of football.
Yeah, I kind of think onwards and upwards, really, and it really is such a good time to be a Cambridge fan, and especially with new fans coming in, it's always good and always nice to see. And it really is. You do feel that a corner has been turned within behind the scenes of the club as well, with good owners and a really good backroom staff, and Mark Bonner's kind of sat at the top of the tree with everything, and it is really just a wonderful atmosphere to be a Cambridge fan in it. Just final few questions today, mate. Score prediction for Saturday. What would you say? And goal scorers.
Well, I posted a Facebook post up because Cambridge are actually in the soccer. Is it the soccer six?
Yeah.
A little bit of banter. Actually, my boss, Jamie Edmonds, he's the owner of A to B taxi cabs, and I work for them, and he supported Cambridge United really well, and sponsors the whole signature bar under the main stand, and it's a special game for him because he is actually a Geordie, and he's from up that way. So I sort of put it on there as a little bit of a tease, hoping he'd see it. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's head and heart. Be a really tough game. I'd like to say a draw and take them back, but obviously that can't happen.
Yeah.
I'll go with a 2-1 Cambridge then. I'll go for an Ironside header and a Jack Ardell thunderbolt. That's the fairy tale version, so we'll just stick to that anyway.
That's what we've been dreaming about.
Newcastle to take the lead. Big Joe with a header and an Ardell rocket from about 25 yards, and then 5,000 up in the gods will be delirious, and then go and sink a Newcastle brown ale afterwards.
Oh, it sounds like I can already taste it, mate. But yeah, funny enough went for a 2-1 win on the Sky Bet scores, so I'm going to stay with the same. I think we're going to take the lead about 5 minutes in. I think we're going to start really well and kind of surprise them. We'll take the lead, and then second half they'll score. And then I say about 80th minute, I'm going to probably say George Williams back post header. That's my prediction, but it could be wrong, but you never know. But one final quick question, mate. Who is your favourite Cambridge player up to date, so as it stands?
Whatever.
We'll go for as the current team. So from this 21-22 squad.
Current team. It's difficult. Iredale or Williams, we spoke about them earlier, and I'm a big Jones fan. Sorry, it's hard. I'll go for Jack Iredale then. I'll go for Jack Iredale. Ever. Again, it's difficult. There's a few players.
There's been a lot.
Yeah. Maybe a bit unoriginal. You'd have to go Dion Dublin. Absolute club legend. Again, I was blessed to be in that era growing up when he played for Cambridge United, and so he went on to sign for Man United for $1 million. But with Steve Claridge, we've been blessed with some terrific footballers over the years. So yeah, I'll take Dion Dublin, Steve Claridge, and Super Jack Iredale currently.
Sounds good. Well, that's all we've got time for this evening. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and I will see you next week for a recap of the Newcastle game. Thank you so much for joining me, Scott.
Wicked. Well done, Callum. Great work, and thanks for having me on, mate. Thank you.
No worries, buddy. Thank you.